Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our club, My Life, My Business. Wish I was here. As you join us in the room today, we're going to continue with our series, The Unconventional Wisdom for a Joyful Life. And this is going to be principle number 33, which is going to be the last in this series. Principle 33 is energy attracts like energy. And I want to start with a quote from Gandhi who says, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Repeat that again. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Which is quite interesting, is that it absolutely supports the fact that like energy attracts like energy. So um, it's interesting when you think about relationships, and we've often been taught that it's all about opposites attracting. So if you think about that and consider this adage, especially in all kinds and forms of relationships, one would kind of agree that it's probably opposites attracting, but that is all very superficial because the energy that we're talking about here is pretty much the the energy of your mind and in your thinking and how that resonates throughout your feelings and how it impacts your behavior. And some of the hidden energy and well the thoughts with which we wrestle with all the time, the way we view the world, those filters that we have that either enlarge our world or contracts our world, these are the ones that attract like-minded people into our world. And we've often heard this adage that misery loves company. And have you not noticed how when we see the world a certain way, we love to have people congregate around us who agree with us. We seek that agreement, and you find that even though we have this desire and we taught this desire that diversity of thought leads to wonderful decision making, the most effective decision making that you could ever think. The composition of, let's talk in terms of boards of directors. If you think about composition of directors and saying that we want a diversity of thought, however, what tends to happen even in the boardroom is a homogeneity of thinking, whether it is the kind of people that congregate, the kind of club that is associate. Now, this is archaic thinking, but I can tell you that the world is still governed by these kinds of things. Whether we strive to be politically correct, we still find ourselves doing these kinds of things. So, um, so today, just to expand on this, that like energy attracts like energy, um, we want to talk about this from what we attract and create. So, uh, a statement stipulating that we attract and create our world um, is sort of at the heart of what we're talking about here today. And the question would be is exactly what is your world? And if you could write down these answers to these questions, is what would you describe as your present world as you see it? Not by any book. Don't Google it. What would you describe as your present world? Are you experiencing your world as it is currently? And then what do you choose to have in your world every day? So, by focusing not on what was, the things in the past, only what can be, and eventually what is, you can create the world you choose. Everyone wants abundance in life. Now, living an abundant life begins with believing and focusing on an abundant world. Whatever we put our attention to will expand. If we focus on lack, failing relationships, not finding work, or not having enough money, we tend to live in those realities. Choose to look at the world as an abundant place with enough resources for all, and you will attract abundance and you as you live in this reality. Now, in many ways, um, we want to ask, in the principle of the farmer, are we sowing seed? Is a perspective, or an opposing perspective, are we throwing away food for eating? In both of this, you could be thinking, you could be following one of these schools of thought. Are we sowing seed, which means you have an expectation of a harvest? Or if you believe that you are throwing away food for eating, therefore you will keep the seed, right? Because of the value that you attach to the seed and not to its potential for what it will grow into. You will hold on to this and therefore never reap a harvest. And if you think about this, if you sow the seeds and you expect a harvest, that's an abundance mentality. But if you hold back the sowing of the seed because you believe it's actually food for eating, this is typically what we would describe as a poverty mentality. But we're not going to be focusing on that today. We're not going to be focusing on a poverty mentality, right? So, a quote by John Randolph Price that says, "The unlimited universal treasure is ours now." And you know what that is? It is what we are. And I love that. It's an unlimited universal treasure. It is what we are. And we can have that now. So, that's the challenge to that awareness, is that you can have that now. Uh, let's see if we can just discuss a few examples here. Now, as an employee, being paid for what you are worth, right? Or as a consultant, therapist, mentor, or coach, charging fees mirrors their worth. Now, we all start out saying, well, I want a salary or an income, or I want a certain fee structure, that really aligns with the worth I put on my services and my ability to deliver, my ability to keep commitments, and so forth. However, what really happens is people may accept a job that is much less money than they feel that they are worth, or they even turn down a position out of fear of inadequacy or an imposter syndrome. So, this thinking as an employee or consultant will therefore manifest in your business life. You will attract the kind of clients that will rather horse trade with you, is greatly spend a lot less on you, and then when they're having a discussion with their friends, believe you are such great value for money. You come really cheap. So they'll celebrate the fact that they are, at least intellectually, see that you provide great value for money. However, the level of disrespect associated with that thinking can also accompany it. And so, um, many times, here's the challenge: is if you're an employee, are you being paid what you are worth? If you're a business person, especially in the consulting field, are you charging fees commensurate with your worth? Do you absolutely acknowledge, describe your own worth, and do you value your own worth? Because if you're setting fees and you're accepting packages much lower than your worth, then obviously that's the value that you are set on your worth, and that is the like energy attracting the like energy. Now, if you focus on lack, then lack will inevitably appear. So rather focus on what you want and not on what you do not have, so that a clearer picture can be created and you can move from an attitude of lack to one of abundance. Um, in another example, um, I actually want to quote Louise L. Hay that says this: rejoice in the abundance of being able to awaken each morning and experience a new day. Be glad to be healthy, to have friends, to be creative, to be a living example of the joy of living. Think of yourself as a magnet. One of the greatest ways to create abundance in life is to think in terms of gratitude. When we feel grateful, we can really enjoy what we have and stop focusing on what we think we need in order to enjoy ourselves. Gratefulness creates an abundant consciousness, which in turn actually attracts and creates more fun and enjoyment. Um, I actually want to close off this talk with a wonderful hymn, just excerpts from a wonderful hymn to remind us why we have this series is for a joyful life. Whatever you are pursuing, it starts with gratitude, being grateful for every little thing, and it's captured very, and this is maybe a well-known, well, not maybe, I think it definitely is a well-known hymn. And really, two verses I will quote out of this. When upon life's billows you are tempest tossed, when you are discouraged, thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name but them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Are you ever burdened with the load of care? Does the cross seem heavy you are called to bear? Count your many blessings. Every doubt will fly, and you will be singing as the days go by. I just want to encourage you, if you're listening to this podcast today, take out a piece of paper. Even if you're feeling miserable, the day has gone terribly wrong. In fact, the week or the month or the year or the years have gone terribly wrong for you. Take out the piece of paper and write down, list every single blessing that you can remember in the past, in the present, and the blessings in the future. You write those things down one one by one, as many as you can, and read it and read it. And therefore, as your eyes and your intellect begin to read it, let it sink in, and let the memory be written on the tablet of your heart. So count your blessings. Be grateful for where you are in life. And with the air of gratitude, with an abundance mentality, you will attract people that have the same abundance mentality into your circle of influence. You will attract opportunities into your life because you see opportunities wherever you go. You don't judge things as good or bad. You look for opportunities. There is a silver lining in everything. Your air of optimism is so attractive, and that invariably you attract optimism into your life. So apply some of the things that we've spoken about. And our series come to an end with just a final reminder. We've spoken about these different principles of unconventional wisdom for a joyful life. And just to remind you is that our room is about being fully engaged in your life as you enjoy the journey of life, whether it's in relationships, personal, business relationships, other social relationships. Um, whether you pursuing your career in the way you're pursuing your career, whether it's about the fact that you've either just started a business or you are already a seasoned business person for many, many years, the choice that you have every day with the reminder that you can every day count your blessings, that fills your heart with joy, that fills your mind with such an excitement and interest and enthusiasm for your life. Not enthusiasm for somebody else's life, no, an enthusiasm for your own life, with a sense of wonder and adventure that every day is going to be like a present that you have to unwrap, that you never know what you're going to find. There's going to be all kinds of surprises in store, but it's your life, nobody else's life, the only one that you have. And there is blessing in every single experience. I want to just encourage you is that the best life you can owe for yourself is a life of enjoyment. And don't look to situations to enjoy life. Don't look to other people for that enjoyment. Don't think other people must make you happy. No, no. The freedom that you have is choose today to live your life on your own terms and enjoy every single moment. Thank you. And I want to just once again thank you for listening. Have a fantastic time. Until next week. Bye for now.